Okay, hello. Please tell people about the plot, but also the tone of your short film.
Okay. Hi, Michael. My name's Solara. I'm the writer and director of the short film Ripe, or in Vietnamese, Dien. It's a short film set in the 2000s in the Mekong Delta of Vietnam. And it's about a young Vietnamese woman who has to decide if she'll enter an arranged marriage in order to support her family. But all throughout this journey, the land and the spirit realm weave very mysterious influence over her as she comes to her final choice.
And how the heck did you come up with this idea?
That's a really good question, and I get it a lot. I think it really started when I was sitting down one day in the summer. It was several years ago. It must have been 4 years ago now, when I was spending a summer with my mom, and she was opening a durian for me. And it's a very painstaking process. So I was like trying to pay a lot of attention to it because it's a really spiky, tough fruit to open. But inside the flesh is very soft and tender, and the meat itself is like surprisingly really sweet and kind of creamy. And this whole time I was having a lot of thoughts about how the durian really reminded me of, well, a woman's body, and I was exploring that connection. And I decided to run with that idea, and I ended up with the script for Right, where I'm kind of exploring this connection between the land and nature and a woman's body and her choices, but in a kind of my own like special way, I guess.
Is it a mystical way?
I guess so. Yeah, you could say that. I think a lot of it comes from like I'm Vietnamese, and so our culture is very steeped in a lot of superstition, but also very much rooted in the land. Even our language uses a lot of words that are connected to nature, and they're very tactile in order to describe things. And that kind of shapes the way I think and see the world sometimes.
I think a lot of people here in North America don't understand, the also maybe like a conception of God that's a little different. Like God is within the earth; he's not like outside of nature. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, and I don't want to like go too much into religion, but Vietnam is very diverse in religions, and we have a lot of ways to practice it. But I think something that kind of exists universally is this like folk belief in that like there's kind of a spirit in everything.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So it's a Canadian and Vietnamese co-production. So what the heck did Canadians do to help this movie?
Yeah, so that's also a really good question. Just a quick correction, it is like technically a co-venture, which
Okay.
is something I have been like taught to understand the difference between a co-venture and a co-production. And it was a co-venture, which means that actually a lot of support came from Canada because our project was supported by the Canada Council for the Arts. And I'm Canadian as well. And a lot of the core ideas and support came from within Canada. I wrote the script in Canada. I had development funding before I even went into production from Canada Council. And our one of our producers, Nick Altobelli, is Canadian, and we had some Canadian team fly in as well. Our makeup artist is Canadian, our storyboard artist, and then afterwards in post production, we have our editor, our composer, and a lot of our post team, sound, VFX, all of that was done in Canada. So it was like a big team effort.
Nice. Cool. Okay. Co-venture. I'm learning today. This is beautiful.
I know, so was I.
It's good stuff. So, what other romantic movies inspired you? Do you like Wong Kar-wai? Are there other filmmakers, like specifically filmmakers who deal with romantic topics that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. I do love Wong Kar-wai. I have a tattoo of "In the Mood for Love" on my thigh.
Ooh,
And I recently actually just watched the 25th anniversary screening of it. So that was really special. I take a lot of inspo from Wong Kar-wai's films. And more recently, I've actually been really loving a lot of Italian directors and their approach to relationships. So I'd love to shout out Alice Rohrwacher, and I love Luca Guadagnino's films lately. Yeah.
cool. What other cinematic genres do you think you drew upon? What other cinematic influences besides the strictly relationship based sort of cinema do you think you might have
Yeah.
caught a vibe from? Even like
I
subconsciously.
I think, yeah, in the back of my head, a lot of it was like psychological thrillers, and like weirdly enough, like revenge films, because I think like with relationships, there's always something to explore with like tension and power, right? So I'm thinking a lot about like Park Chan-wook's films, which delve a lot into vengeance, thrillers and like body horrors, because those also can explore like, what it's like to be in a human body and that experience. So these are all things that kind of are percolating in my head.
Oh, cool. So a little Takashi Miike, David Cronenberg as well.
Yes, yeah, I love Miike. I love Cronenberg. Also love uh the French director um who directed Titan.
You're right. Yeah. Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
Julia
Julia
Ducournau.
Ducournau.
Right.
Yes, I love her.
Oh yeah.
Love her work.
You like Raw as well?
Yes, yeah.
Cool, cool. All right. So tell me about now the actors. How do they make the material their own?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could ask them myself too, because I think so much of the wonder of like filmmaking is, as a director, you have this idea and then you hand it over to your actors and try to, it's like an act of like alchemy, trying to come to this understanding and create something that fits your vision, but also is like within their abilities and their understanding and their own interpretation of the film too, right? I do know that one thing that really helped my lead actor, Haley, who plays Le, the protagonist of the film. She actually spent some time in the Mekong Delta with a farming family, and she like immersed herself in the setting. She even learned how to climb a tree and harvest a durian herself. So that was something that really helped her, I think, bring out this authentic performance, but also like be really in her body and in the space we were in, because the setting was so important for us.
It's amazing. They sort of helps create like a tactile relationship with the material, even like more deeply, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And tell me about arriving at these actors during the casting process. Did you have open auditions, or how did that work?
Yeah, we opened it up worldwide actually for our auditions, but most of our auditions ended up taking place in Vietnam. I think mainly because of like the demand of the roles. They required like, you know, fluent Vietnamese and a certain sensibility that I was looking for. And it was thanks to our Vietnamese production team at Spring Tours. They organized all the casting and helped me get all those auditions. And I was like, because of our time difference, I was doing the casting while still in Canada. And like late at night, I was like delirious while watching these auditions and trying to, figure out, okay, who am I feeling? Where can we go with this? Things like that.
Oh my God. Sounds like a lot. Are you excited to go to TIFF with this movie?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like everyone's dream, right? To go to TIFF. And yeah, it just feels unreal. Like I still don't know if I fully believe it yet. I think I would have to land in Toronto next month and then I'll be like, okay, yeah, our film is premiering at TIFF.
Oh yeah, 3 weeks and 2 days.
Wow, yeah, you got it.
Exciting. Is there another film you'd like to see? If you just had to
There's
pick
a
one?
yeah, there are a lot of films. Um, Let me think. I mean, I know there were several films that have trickled down from Cannes,
Mm.
and so I had my eyes on like the films that had premiered at Cannes. I also just saw that Park Chan-wook will be doing
Ooh,
some a conversation at TIFF. I'm very excited and hope that I can attend things like that as well.
amazing. Yeah, there's like so many films too. It's like 200 films. So,
I know.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I had a lot of fun. Is there a message or feeling you'd ultimately like to get across with this short film?
Ooh, I guess the only message I would want to leave is for people to look really closely at the fruits and the nature around them. You might be amazed at what you see.
Ooh, I like that. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. It was a pleasure.